How did you navigate the last couple of years, regardless of your opinion on vaccines and things like that? I don't want to, start treading on everyone's toes, but I was just curious to know, because as you've said, your whole world revolves around helping people in a holistic manner, that this reductionist view of, hey, this one needle is the answer, did my head in. Like, how did you cope?
The last few years have been the biggest growth in my business in terms of looking at new paradigms for finding root cause resolution for mental illness and chronic disease. And I'll give you an example that, because I totally get you and appreciate that, like the frustration. Like in my family, there were doctors and stuff, and there have been doctors. And when I came through the other side, and I've learned a lot, I've learned that we're always doing the best with the level of understanding that we have available. So it means that with a lot of the traditional medical approaches that can be more reductionist, they're doing the best with what they see. So I kind of, I don't know, I'm not saying I'm some enlightened person, but it moved me to a bit more compassion. But I totally get where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to speak to, though, is old paradigms, because old paradigms have led to a lot of suffering in the past. One of my, I wouldn't say favorite, but one of the ones that really speaks to it was back in the 18th century, where 18% of mothers would die giving birth. They called it pregnancy fever. And that creates a lot of suffering. Like 18% of mothers would die, and they just thought that's how life is. That's normal. Hopefully she gets through. Until one day, a man named Semmelweis, a general physician that would help deliver babies, his fellow colleague passed away of the pregnancy fever, another man. It was like, I don't get it. He's a man. Why did he pass away from pregnancy fever? He discovered that no one was sterilizing instruments. No one was washing their hands from operation to delivering babies. Now, talking about that now, we would go, wow, that's absurd. That's insane. That would create a lot of suffering. The innocence is in how we traditionally treat mental health and physical health now. A lot of it's operating under older paradigms like that a decade from now, we'll look back and go, oh my God, you used to not look at their gut or their nervous system or their breathing or their sleep or tell them that they're well. Because the older paradigms of psychoanalysis look for, and I used to do this in my initial training, what's wrong with the person? Where are they broken? Versus now I look, they're well. How do I bring that out of them? What if we see that people are innately well? They're innately well psychologically and biologically. How do we return them back home? So what really shifted for me over the last few years was to see that I don't look for where people are broken now. I look for their innate well-being, and I look at what are the innocent obstacles in a constructionist view to support them in moving so they can return back to who they really are. So the last few years have been the biggest evolution of my impact. That's why I launched an institute to train integrative coaches last year, because I was so fired up and so passionate after seeing clients get long-term change for a year and a half, 2 years. They're like, my life's amazing. I was like, I feel integral to teach an integrative approach now. So to be honest, the last few years completely transformed the game for me. They really did.